Hello and welcome to another episode of my Productivity Mastery series. My name is Carl Pauline and today I have a confession to make. I don't follow my own rules. Now let me explain. I developed the time sector system several years ago now, and there are a set of things that I always recommend people to do. One of which is, for example, clear your inbox, your task manager's inbox every day. Another one is don't date tasks that are far into the future. For example, my next week, this month, next month, and long term and on hold. Don't add a date on them and don't prioritize them. The thing is, sometimes I do. And this is really the point of what I want to explain to you today in this video, which is you don't have to follow the rules precisely. Let me just give you a simple example. If I know in 3 weeks' time I have a task to do, I'm going to add a date to it. It's going to be in my this month folder. I'm going to add a date to it. If I know that there is something that I have to do on Monday that is vitally important, theoretically I haven't done my weekly planning yet and it's going to be in my next week folder, but A, I'm going to add a date, and B, I'm going to add a flag to it. I'm going to prioritize it because I already know this information. I don't need to delay that information. I already know it's important, it must be done, it's an objective task, and I know that it has to be done on Monday. So I'm going to add the date and I'm going to add the flag, even though technically it's not for this week. And another one that I do regularly is when I look at the karma points in Todoist, which is a feature that Todoist has where you can track where all your tasks are being completed from, if you like. I notice that probably about 60% of my daily tasks are being completed from my inbox. Now, theoretically, that's wrong. Theoretically, I should clear my inbox. I should then process the tasks and move them into this week, this month, next month. But I don't. If I can complete that task from the inbox, I'm going to do that. And then another one that I'm going to confess to doing or not doing is clearing my inbox every day. Nope, I don't clear my inbox every day either because sometimes I just don't have time. I'm not going to force myself to do it. However, there are some things I make sure I will not negotiate with, some things that I will not skip. And before we go into what those are, I have a little message from this week's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community where millions come together to take the next step in their creative journey. With thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people on topics including illustration, design, photography, video, freelancing, and more. Skillshare has classes to fit your schedule and skill level, and members get unlimited access to thousands of inspiring classes with hands-on projects and feedback from a community of millions. For example, my current favorite topic is minimalism. Having just moved house and office, and this class by Erin Boyle is fantastic. It really got my creative energy going and has given me so many new ideas for organizing my office and home. If you are looking for the perfect place to ignite your creativity and learning, then give Skillshare a try. The first 1,000 people to use the link or my code, Carl Pauline, will get 1 month free trial of Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity today. Thank you so much, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video this week. Now, one of the things that for me are non-negotiable. Well, the first one is I will check my inbox at the end of every day. Now, the reason for that is I'm looking for fires. I'm looking for tasks that I dropped in there early in the morning, completely forgotten about now it's the end of the day, and they are smoking fire bombs, if you like. They are potentially going to trip me up if I'm not aware of them. So I need to look at those every single day. I might not clear that inbox on a daily basis just simply because I don't have time or I'm just mentally not there, but I do need to see if there are any fires in there. The other thing that I will do every day religiously, no matter how busy, tired, exhausted I am, is I will do some form of planning, because I've learnt from my own experience that if I don't plan the day before, the next day is going to be a disorganized mess, and I'm going to get to the end of the day and be in worse shape than I am already today. So I will make sure I will do a cursory planning session. Essentially, all I'm looking for are what are the things that I must do tomorrow, what are the things that I would like to do tomorrow. That's really the only question I'm asking myself when I'm doing that daily planning. It's nothing serious, and often I can do it from my phone or I can do it from my iPad. It doesn't really matter, but as long I will make sure I do that. But in between all that, I'm not necessarily following all the rules every day. And some people, they get really stressed and they know everything has to be in the right place. Well, not technically, no, it doesn't. Let's take an area of focus, for example, of exercise. Now, theoretically, it's a task. I've got to exercise every day, but it's useless for me in my task manager, because for me, exercise is an event. I either have to be in the gym or out on the road, but I have to be somewhere. And the only way I will consistently do my exercise is by scheduling it. So exercise is on my calendar. Some people would say, no, I prefer to see exercise in my task manager. Well, that's great, wherever works for you. And that's really the point of this video, is to highlight that I've given you, particularly in the time sector system, and this is the same for if you're following GTD or some other productivity system. There's usually a set of rules that we start off with when we start with the system. And that's great, because that gives you the foundation. But you need to find a way for things to work for you. You need to define what a routine is. You need to define what your core work is. You need to define what your areas of focus are, because these are all personal things and they're all different for all of us. I'm not in a position to be able to say, oh, that's definitely a routine and that's definitely an area of focus, because what something is to me is not necessarily going to be the same for you. And so, of course, we need some kind of structure to follow. We need some kind of game plan, if you like, and the time sector system in particular is a great way of doing that. It's super, super fast. But within that, you can add due dates to tasks in your this week folder, next week folder, your this month folder, or long term and on hold. If you want, you can treat that very much as a tickler file, if you like. You can prioritize tasks 3 months in advance if you want to. There's no hard and fast rules. I don't find that works for me, but maybe it's going to work for you, because ultimately having a productivity and time management system, a method that you use, it has to work for you. It doesn't have to work for me. My system works for me. But you need to take the ideas of GTD or the time sector system or whatever time management system you're using, learn how to use that system as the theory goes, and then modify it so that it works for you. Because ultimately it's you that's using it. There's nobody looking over your shoulder saying, you're doing that wrong. No, you're doing that wrong. No, you shouldn't do that. Nobody's doing that. So a lot of this is, I look at it as a journey. I'm forever modifying my own system. I alter the times of doing things. I still do my journaling first thing in the morning because it's my favorite time of the day. I wouldn't try and write a journal at the end of the day, simply because I'm likely to be very tired, probably not in the mood. I wouldn't be consistent. That's just me. You might find that you are very consistent late at night. You like to use journaling as a way to wind down and close out the day. That's great. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. I shift around when I reply to my email. Now, if you watch my video from last week, how I organize and manage my email, I basically process email first thing in the morning, and then I reply to all my actionable email later in the day. Now, I used to do that at 4 p.m. Now I do that at around about 7 p.m. Things are changing all the time. I'm forever looking for the optimization, if you like, and altering times when I do things based on how I'm going to be feeling really works for me. So what I really want to stress to you this week is within your system, if you try to follow the rules exactly as they are written in a book or in a course or in a video, you are going to really cause yourself quite a lot of stress, because you need to, sure, learn the basics to start with, but then you need to modify it so that it actually works for you. And if it's not working for you, modify it again. Find a better way of doing it. Come at it from a different approach. There's many different ways of using the time sector system. I personally don't really like to date anything unless it's a routine, an area of focus, or in my This Week folder. And in the time sector system course, I stress that's what you should do. Don't date anything in next week, this month, next month, or long term on whole folders. But sometimes you already know the date, so just add the date. Don't say, oh, I can't do that, it's against the rules. There are really no rules. The time sector system and any other system is just a guidance. It's just a set of guidelines that's going to help you to become more productive. But experiment, play around, try different things, see what works best for you. That is how you build the best productivity system, time management system for yourself. It isn't trying to strictly stick to a set of rules, because you're kind of boxing yourself in too tight. And ultimately, we all work in different jobs. We all have different ways of doing our work. And so you need to find different ways so that it actually works for you. Hopefully that's given you some ideas, or hopefully it's given you some inspiration, or at least given you a little bit of relief to make you realize that no, you're not doing things wrong. You're just discovering things for yourself, which ultimately is the best way to find things for yourself. Thank you very much for watching this video, and it just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Hello, thank you very much for watching my videos. Now I have something exciting to tell you about. Recently I have developed a brand new time management system. It's a system designed to manage your time in the 21st century. The world has changed a lot over the last 20 years. In fact, it's actually changed a lot this year. And what we need now is a system, a time management system that is very easy to use, easy to maintain, so that you can spend more of your time doing the work. And that's what the time sector system is all about. It's going to change your whole belief system about the way a time management system should work, because this focuses on when you are going to do the task. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter how motivated, inspired, or how urgent something is. If you don't have time to do it, it is never going to get done. And that's what this system is built around, getting your work done, so you can spend more of your time doing the things that you want to do. I hope you join me in this course. The full details of the course are in the show notes below, so please join me, and thank you very much for watching this brief video.